Okay, so basically the question was posed to me today on whether or not you could run more than 300 websites from a single network card in IIS without using host headers. And I guess really the debate is how many IP addresses you can assign to a NIC card. So what I've done here is I've created a little script that's going to do just that, just a simple batch file. It's going to ask me how many sites to create, and then the two octets in this Class A range. And as it goes through here, it's just going to have a counter, concatenate together the IP address range that I'm going to be working on, and use the net sh command to assign the IP addresses or add them to local area connection 3. Then it's going to use the IIS web.vbs to actually create the websites in this directory based off the counter with a site name based off the counter, and each new address as it goes through the pool. Once the last octet is incremented to above 255, so as it gets to 256, it's going to go ahead and reset that to 0 and increment the second last octet. So let's just look here in IIS. We don't have any websites created here. And on our interface, I just have one IP address currently assigned that's outside of the range that we'll be working on. I'm just going to do 1.1. And this is the directory structure where each site's going to get its own directory, basically. So let's see what I called that. Websites.batch file. Let's cross our fingers. Here we go. How many sites to create? Well, let's just do 300. Network address A, 1. Network address B, 1. And let's watch it run. Looks like it's going so far. As we come over here, we can actually see the sites being created, or the directory structures being created. And up here in IIS, we'll actually see these directories being created. And we can look at some of these as they're going. So go in the properties, hopefully we don't crash out here. And we can see that this is assigned a single IP address with no host header. And so where are we now? We're only at .1.21. It's going to take a little while to run. Not unexpected here. I'm running this on a test box in a virtual machine. You see the IP addresses here racking up. And I think so that I don't bore you to death here, I might just pause the recording, let it run, and we'll see what we got once we get to the end of the script, if the box doesn't crash. Well, here we are. We've got all 300 websites created. Here's the last one. If I look here in IIS Manager, you can see sites 1, IP address of 10.10.1.1, all the way down to site 300 with 10.10.2.44. But I do have to admit, while I had the recording paused, I started to think about the conversation that I was having, and we were actually talking about NT4. So I did go and look it up real quick and to see if this was possible on NT4. Unfortunately, I do not have an NT4 machine to test it on, but I did come across one little tidbit here, and that is, you can see right down here on the bottom, note, max 5 IP addresses per NIC. So that would be a whole lot of NICs in an NT4 box to get it up to 300 websites. Nonetheless, I thought this was kind of interesting, and it was just a fun little project for me to do since I don't have much else to do. Thanks.